Business lesson: the path to wealth. Three merchants set out to find business opportunities in a mountainous region. There, they found a garden full of large, sweet, and fragrant apples sold at very cheap prices. Upon seeing these delicious and affordable apples, the first young man felt extremely lucky. He immediately bought a large quantity of the best, most fragrant apples and took them back to his hometown to sell for double the price. After repeating this several times, he saved up quite a lot of money. The second young man thought for a moment and then spent half of his money on apple seeds and the other half on renting a plot of land in his hometown. He then cultivated and cared for the apple seeds himself. The last young man carefully examined the apple trees. He walked for many days in the wonderful apple garden and finally met the garden owner, saying, "I want to buy land in this apple garden." The owner shook his head. "No, we don't sell land, only apples." Hearing this, the young man continued to persuade the garden owner, "I really want to buy land here. Please sell it to me, even just a little bit." Seeing his earnestness, the owner smiled and replied, "All right, since you're so insistent, I will sell you some land and give you some apple seeds as a bonus." The young man brought the soil back to his hometown and asked an expert to analyze its composition, moisture, and compare it to the soil, temperature, and sunlight of his own place to identify its potential. Then, he rented a hill, improved the soil to match the sample he brought back, and planted the seeds. The following year, he had an orchard full of lush, fruitful apple trees, just like the previous apple gardens. Moral: attention to detail, careful observation, and strategic thinking. Systematic thinking and visionary planning. Vocabulary: merchant, noun. Definition: a person or company involved in wholesale trade, especially one dealing with foreign countries or supplying merchandise to a particular trade. Example: the merchant traveled to the mountainous region to find new business opportunities. Cultivate, verb. Definition: to prepare and use land for crops or gardening. Example: the second young man decided to cultivate the apple seeds on his own land. Persuade, verb. Definition: to cause someone to do something through reasoning or argument. Example: the young man managed to persuade the garden owner to sell him some land. Analyze, verb. Definition: to examine methodically and in detail the constitution or structure of something, typically for purposes of explanation and interpretation. Example: he had the soil analyzed to understand its potential. Strategic, adjective. Definition: relating to the identification of long-term or overall aims and interests and the means of achieving them. Example: his strategic thinking led to the creation of a successful apple orchard.